All right, we're back. A little bit later than I had told some of you guys, so sorry for the delay, but here we are. Yes, we're still doing more than one video a year. Let's fucking go. I also promised an improvement. I have a new microphone. Hopefully that comes through. If not, then this is gonna be the same as the last one. So without further ado, let's start ranking these bitches. Highest to lowest has one of the most tragic first acts I've ever seen. If the whole movie would have been like that, this probably would have been at the bottom of the list and it wouldn't have even been close. But as soon as that subway or metro chase scene happens, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, it becomes a much better time. It's obviously not as good as a Kurosawa classic. Nobody was expecting it to be, but I don't think it's as tragic as his Old Boy remake. Avatar Fire and Ash is another Avatar movie. It's very similar to the last one. It's just a little longer. The action's a little bit better, but the fire people they marketed, I thought it was going to be mostly fire people and like volcanoes and shit. Nope, that's barely in the movie. It's just more water. So if you liked Way of the Water, you'll probably like this one. Hamnet didn't really move me as much as it did other people. It's not bad. Jesse Buckley's incredible, but it mostly just felt like an emotionally manipulative Oscar bait and not much else. Led Zeppelin is probably my favorite band, so I was obviously excited for this documentary and I enjoyed the fuck out of it because I got to listen to Led Zeppelin songs in theaters, so that's really cool. But then I gave it a bit of thought and the documentary was really whatever. Like, I don't think I would have actually enjoyed it that much had it not just been for the music. Like, half the time I was realizing, like, man, I wish the people talking, like the documentary part of the movie, would shut the fuck up so I could just listen to the music. Novocaine is a movie I forgot I even watched, but when I think about it, it had really entertaining and creative gore, and that's enough to entertain me for an afternoon. Dead Man's Wire, honestly, I can't think of anything to say, and that's been the case for pretty much all of these movies, and that kind of just shows how middle of the road everything is. I'm sorry this has probably been so much more boring than my previous one, but they're just not bad enough for me to get angry about, and they're not good enough for me to get excited about. They're just so fucking whatever, so we're left with me just rambling about anything that doesn't have to do with the movie like I am right now, and yeah, I don't know what to say, man. Companion is another fun but forgettable movie, but at least this one had like themes I really like, the whole consciousness and what it means to be a human, and then you tie it into like the consent part of it all that you see at the beginning of Westworld. But yeah, F1 is just a lesser Top Gun Maverick. Mickey 17 got off to a really strong start, and it was something I was really excited for because this man's previous movie was Parasite, and he's made a bunch of bangers. And then it just kind of goes nowhere interesting. The third act has a bunch of shit you've seen in like Avatar, Princess Mononoke, any action movie dealing with environmentalism, and not that I disagree with anything it's saying, but it wasn't really saying anything new in an interesting way when it was exploring really cool stuff at the start of the movie. I don't know, this was a really big letdown. The Phoenician Scheme is Wes Anderson just kind of on autopilot, honestly. Have you ever wondered what The Brutalist would have been like if it was a musical? I haven't either, but I was kind of interested when I heard that was what this movie was, and it really was. For like the first half, I was so into it. It looks great, the songs are bangers. There's a scene halfway on a boat where I'm like, this movie isn't getting enough love. Then they get off of the boat and realize there's like still half of the movie left and nothing fucking happens the rest of the time, and when it ended I was so happy, and that's not good. I think the stuff Predators explores and the like questions it asks and the fact that it comes from a filmmaker with the most authority to be giving an opinion of these topics makes it a really fucking cool documentary. Unfortunately, I think some of the stuff in the middle was kind of not necessary and made it feel longer than it was, but it's still a really cool documentary. Die My Love was, at least to me, just a much, much, much weaker woman under the influence, but I fucking love Woman Under the Influence, so I had a pretty good time with this either way. Roofman is slightly overlong, but it's a pretty interesting true story told in a very lighthearted way by a very good filmmaker, so it wasn't a bad time. Splitsville starts to go in circles sometimes, but it's pretty fun all the way through, and it's easily the better of the two Dakota Johnson love triangle comedies that came out this year. Jay Kelly was a perfect plain movie. Wake Up Dead Man is another Knives Out movie. I like them, man. I didn't love Glass Onion, but if I love Benoit Blanc so fucking much. He's such a fun character. If he's on screen, I don't care if the movie's good. If it's bad, I'm probably having a good time. And I love Josh O'Connor so much, and he's like, he gets a lot of fucking screen time since he's the main guy. And honestly, he's been the coolest main guy of these movies so far. Really good time. Frankenstein is one I'm kind of having trouble talking about. I love so much about it. I might be biased because I love Guillermo, but I think a lot of it's beautiful. Even though the CGI doesn't always mesh well with the sets and gives it that kind of straight to Netflix look, I still think it's like a very visually appealing movie. I think both Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi do fucking great. Everything in the monsters story, the creation, whatever it's, you get the fuck. Every part of Jacob Elordi's story with the old man was awesome. And even though I don't think it really earns its emotional beats at the end, I like this tone, and I don't really feel too strongly about the source material. So a lot of problems other people have, I don't have. But yeah, I really liked it. The Smashing Machine was a vibe, man. I don't know how some people hate it so much. So about 80% of the way through Begonia, right as shit is going down, I get called for a work emergency and need to leave theaters and run back to my apartment. I came back to watch it and finish it like a week or two later, and the impact just wasn't the same. I don't know if the viewing experience kind of ruined it for me, but I can see why people are reacting the way they did. A lot of people really love this movie, and I can see why. I think it's fun as fuck. I love Yorgos. I love Emma. Completely unrelated to the video, but I just spent like 2 hours deciding what movie I want to watch because it's Friday. And for those of you that don't know, Friday is a day I hold very close to my heart. It's a very special day to me. It's one of 2 days where you don't have to worry about waking up in the next morning if you didn't know that already. So obviously, if I'm going to dedicate one of these 2 very valuable days to watching a movie, the movie better be fucking worth it. Nothing is worse than choosing to spend your Friday watching some dog shit and feeling like you just wasted your evening. But then you don't decide what to watch because it has to be perfect. You never fucking decide, and you end up spending like 2 fucking hours of your time, and now it's too late to watch a movie. There's some movies that are 3 hours that I want to watch, but now it's too late. If I would have decided on that like 2 hours ago, then we would have been perfect, and I would be an hour away from finishing it right now. Now I don't even feel like watching an hour and a half movie, and I'm just not gonna watch a movie. I just spent one of my 2 sacred days doing nothing except for bitching about it into the microphone. Thank you.